Hello everyone, welcome to the micro-lecture on peer review. In writing classes or writing groups, instructors often encourage a peer review. You may wonder what the purposes of peer review are and how to do an effective review. In this lecture, we are going to discuss what peer review is, reasons of doing peer review, and how to provide helpful feedback to the authors. What is peer review? According to Oxford Dictionary, peer review is evaluation of scientific, academic, or professional work by others working in the same field. It can be feedback on one another's written work among students in university contexts, or a necessary step in academic paper publication. Therefore, peer review can be a practice in which writers read and comment on each other's writing. It is a conversation between the writer and reader based on the written work. It's a helpful step in the process of revision. Moreover, in academic world, peer review is a critical and necessary part of publication. With the definition, we can understand why teachers often encourage peer review in the writing process. Having students give feedback to one another on their essays or papers has many advantages. First, students can have a broader audience for their writing than just a single instructor. By peer review, they may receive advice from different perspectives on their drafts. Second, when reading and commenting on others' works, students can get opportunities to develop their ability to give feedback. What's more, reviewing the work of others helps reviewers see different approaches and perspectives their peers have taken in the writing. It is generally agreed upon that young writers greatly benefit from peer review throughout the writing process. Keeping one's audience in mind while writing makes the emergent writer more sensitive to the development of ideas. Moreover, the feedback the writer receives from their peer readers throughout the drafting stages of an essay generally results in an essay that is more unified and coherent. Then, let's see how to make an effective and helpful peer review. To start with, you ask yourself the following questions. What effects do I want to have as a reviewer? What do I want the author to feel and do after he or she read my feedback? Generally, as a reviewer, you may want writers to feel encouraged to keep going and improve their work instead of giving up and feeling worthless. Here are some principles and practices that might help achieve the target effects. As a reviewer, you'd better keep the idea in mind that peer review is pedagogy rather than gatekeeping. Gatekeepers would think about how good is the essay, is it good enough, what's wrong with the paper. Taking peer review as pedagogy, you will consider what can I offer as a particular reader to help the author achieve the aim of this piece of writing. To be more specific, as a reviewer, the first step is mirroring. Mirroring means writing down what you think the author intended to communicate. For example, you can write down the main arguments of the essay are A, B, and C, or this paper explores the issue of this or that. This will be valuable for the author because it can confirm the author that you, the reviewer, are getting the right meaning. It is also helpful for the author to realize whether the message in the essay is getting through properly and completely. Second, when giving comments, you'd better be specific in praise and critique and give reasons to explain your judgments. It's no good to say, this paragraph doesn't make any sense. Comments like that is general and discouraging. Instead, you can say, I can't follow this paragraph. Can you state your main points more clearly in the beginning? Instead of saying, this graphic is pointless, you'd better say, I like the information in the graphic, but I don't understand the overall purpose of this graphic. Can you provide a title? That is, for any of your comments, you need to give reasons or suggestions. If you say, the introduction needs more work because it didn't provide background of the issue and failed to mention the 3 specific perspectives which were presented in the 3 body paragraphs, it will be much more helpful for the author than saying this introduction needs improving. Similarly, you do a good job in integrating sources to support the main idea is a better feedback than it sounds good. Third, being careful and sensitive with language, including avoidance of unnecessary emphasis and the use of more speculative phrasing. For example, it may not be appropriate to give a comment as, I was really confused, or it is totally nonsense. You don't need really to overemphasize your point. This part of sentence is confusing will be enough to call the attention of the author. An even better comment is like this. I wonder how the examples in this paragraph supported your topic sentence. Could you please explain a little bit so that people like me who are not familiar with the field of your topic can better understand the issue? Fourth, don't be afraid of being subjective. It means you write the review or feedback as if it is the result of an interaction between the essay and reader. It is a presentation of the reader's values, knowledge, privilege, preferences, or even ignorance. It is more than a process of an objective discovery of flaws in the language, arguments, organization of the essay, or even the research design. The objective feedback like the literature review needs work may not help the author make improvement. Rather, comments like this may work well. As a reader not familiar with this topic, I feel some of the terms and the concepts in the literature review need further explanation. For instance, validity and reliability in the second paragraph. This is a case of subjective feedback. Being subjective means you present your ideas and suggestions based on the interaction between you and the essay so that the author could know how to respond to your feedback and revise the written work. Next, balancing praise and critique. It means it better avoid giving only praise or critique in the review. Starting from specific praise, pointing out the weakness, giving detailed suggestions to the weak points, and ending up with some encouragement will make your feedback more acceptable to the author, and therefore make the essay more accessible to a wider audience and increase its value in the academic community. Essays and papers will get much better after being reviewed effectively by peer students, colleagues, or scholars in the same fields. With the purpose of helping authors becoming more confident and competent in their writing, peer review should be conducted as an interaction between the readers and the essays or papers. An interested reviewer will ask questions about the points which he or she is not clear and give specific comments and critique as well as reasons and suggestions. Reviewers must be careful with the language of the feedback because general comments and unnecessary emphasis on problems may not help authors improve their writing drafts. Finally, praise and critique should be balanced in feedback. All in all, the main purposes of peer review are to provide practical comments and suggestions, and therefore to increase the readability and acceptability of the reviewed essays or papers. Thank you for your attention, and see you next time.